Hello and welcome, Fish here with another DCS Essential F18 guide. In this video we're going to look at dome bombing and we're going to demonstrate the use of the Mark 82s in ripple mode. We're going to ripple 10 in a line and we're going to do it with a low level pass on a convoy of trucks moving south. We're going to be moving north. And before we get into configuring the weapons and for that release, going to have a quick look at the symbology and what it should look like. So I'm going to go and switch ourselves to air to ground mode and select our Mark 82s and pause again, and we're going to look at the symbology. So we can see the symbology on the hood at the moment. It should reflect the symbology on the CCIP page there from my kneeboard. I'm only going to talk about the essential components. Breakaway X is an X that appears if the CCIP computer thinks that you are going to hit the ground with your current aspect. The displayed impact line is critical to us. It's the line that comes from the flight path marker and ends up at the point at which, if we release a bomb, the bombs will hit the ground. Now, at the moment, you can see it's terminated on our image there with a cross, and we call that the impact cross. I call it the impact point. If we go back onto our hood, we can see that the symbology is quite different here, and the reason is because in our current aircraft configuration, if we were to release our bombs or bomb, it would hit the ground somewhere below where our hood is visible. So it'll somewhere below our aircraft there, so we can't see it. And the cue for us knowing that that's the case is this horizontal line on the bomb fall line. And that indicates that if we release now, we actually don't know where the bombs are going to impact. And as we configure our aircraft, so if we go faster, for instance, the throw that the bombs have is going to be further out in front of us. And so that, I would call it a pre-release cue, or release inhibiting cue. That release inhibiting cue will drive down and intercept the impact cross. And we'll see this as we increase our speed towards the target area. And as soon as the impact point appears on the hood, we are free to drop or release our weapons by pickling once that point, at that impact point, is over our target. Now, there's nothing from stopping us to releasing at this point in this configuration, but like I said, we're going to not know where our bombs are going to impact. You can see we've also got a dud bomb cue to tell us that that's the case, that those bombs will be dud. In other words, they won't impact the point cross on our hood. The other important one is pull-up cue, although it's not relevant to us now, but it's used for cluster munitions, and it will tell you that you must have the flight path marker above the pull-up cue in order to release those type of weapons. So with that in mind, we're going to go back into the aircraft and we're going to configure ourselves for releasing our bombs. Now, if we look at the bombs that we've got 5 stations with 2 of each of the standard Mark 82s. And so we're going to release them one at a time we're going to release them all in a single pass with a spacing of 80 feet. So we're back in the pit now. I'm going to go to radar mode because we're going to need to see what altitude we are above the ground traveling over the target area. And we're going to start off with the mode here. We can see we're air to ground and master arm is on. So we're going to select our mode here. And the mode is CCIP. The M fuse is going to be a nose and the F fuse is going to be instantaneous. And if we come over to our UFC, we're going to set our quantity to the full 10 that we have on board. And they're going to be released in multiples of 1. And our interval is going to be 80 feet. And now we can check all this by looking at our MFD, and we can see program 1, mode CCIP, M fuse is nose, E fuse is instantaneous, drag is free fall, quantity 10, multiples of 1, and interval is 80 feet. And now we need to be looking out of our pit to find our target, and it will all happen very quickly after this. Okay, we can see our target roughly in the distance there, and we're going to move to line up in the direction that it's coming from. Going to drop down in altitude, and we can see our release inhibit cue there, and if we watch that cue, now we're pretty much lined up with the target and we're 600 feet. So we watch what happens that cue as we start to, I'm going to level our aircraft and we start to increase in speed. That cue is going to fall down, and then our bomb cross is going to appear. And once that bomb cross hits the end of the column, tank column, I'm going to be releasing. So you'll see now the cross is there, because if I sway it you can see it's not just a line. So we're good to release now. Okay, and that was a good release, so we're going to come back around and do a quick BDA. Now you see we got our warning cross there to tell us that we would impact the ground, but we're going level. I was watching where we were going, so I wasn't going to do that, but good example of what it looks like in the hood. Okay, so we can see there we've taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units with 10 bombs, so that's a pretty decent pass. So I hope you found this video useful and interesting, and feel free to like, dislike, subscribe and comment, and until the next time, this is Fish out.